Apple just recently released their latest iPhone update, the iPhone 13. In this video, we're going to discuss the iPhone 13 Pro Max, its upgraded system, and is it good for anyone looking to upgrade from their 12 Pro Max. Let's chat. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Wayne. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm a travel photographer slash video creator slash content creator, and I wanted to talk today about the iPhone 13 Pro Max and how the camera improvements will affect photographers. Well, not really affect photographers, but what are the benefits that we can get from picking up one of these devices? You probably saw the Apple presentation and are wondering if you should upgrade to the new iPhone 13 Pro Max. For me, the highlight of the presentation was the improved camera system, better battery life, and video capabilities. Yes, there were a few other improvements. However, today I'm looking at this purely from a content creator or photographer's perspective. There were a number of things that caught my eye, one being the newly added macro feature. I love shooting macro photos and typically have one or two macro lenses in my bag along with my other lens when I travel. The two macro lenses that I have are both older metal design. When you consider the other lens in your bag, the tripod you have to lug around and set up to get that steady shot, things can become a bit tedious. Pulling this out of your pocket, snapping a couple shots right off the cuff without much setup, that's really good. I've tested the feature of the camera and actually it's not too bad. I have to say it's pretty good. Certainly, if you want the best shots, you need some kind of steady platform. Even with this, you're still gonna realize you'll need to have some kind of tripod unless you have really bright light and have steady hands. At my age, I'm not the steadiest around, so the extra equipment comes in handy, but I can tell you so far that this has been doing a pretty darn good job. As photographers, we're used to carrying around the whole trinity of lens, something to cover pretty much all your bases. We're talking about a 14 to 24 or 14 to 30 millimeter for the wide angle shots. Then you have your 24 to 70. That's going to give you your mid zoom range or mid wide angle range. And then you go from your 70 to 200, which will go from a telephoto all the way up to a big telephoto zoom. And that's just the three main zoom lenses. Of course, any photographer worth his salt knows that you need to have your prime lens as well. So in your bag, you could end up with a 20 millimeter, 35, 50, 85. Those, covers most of your bases. Anything else beyond that is for additional photos. Like I mentioned, this 300 millimeter old iron can cover greater distances. Now, let's think about that for a second. This is about what, $1,100, $1,200 or so with three lenses and covers most of those zoom ranges. What are we talking about for someone getting to the market right now? Other than getting the body, you're also going to need to pick up a couple of these lenses. So let's just stick with the zoom for a second. And let's go specifically with Nikon because that's what I shoot with. Now, for the 14 to 30, 14 to 24 in a f2.8, we're talking roughly $2,000 or so. Now, when you go to the 24 to 70, you're also probably looking at another $1,000, $1,500, probably $2,000. If you shoot with the Z system, that's definitely going to be over $2,000 off the cuff. Now, the next level up for the 70 to 200, I believe both the Z lens and the F mount are also going to be in that range. But if we want to say, let's just stick with three lenses that are non-zoom to match what the iPhone has. The iPhone, and let me look at my notes over here. The cameras on the iPhone Pro Max are an ultra wide with a 13mm f1.8 lens a 26mm f1.9, and for the telephoto, it's a 77 f2.8. Okay, so again, looking at that from a Nikon perspective, if you were to go for a 14mm f2.8, there's no 1.8 or anything in that range, and that's probably ridiculously expensive anyway. We're talking about 2K for 14mm 2.8. Now, for the mid wide 24, well, I kind of skipped the 20. We'll just go to the 24 that kind of matches with the Apple system. A 24 1.4, oh, that's 2K. Yeah, we probably can get something better than that. Okay, so if we go for 1.8, that's about $750. That's a little bit more palatable. For the telephoto lens, I'm picking a 105 f2.8. So for the Nikon F-mount macro, it's $900. So totaling all that up, we're roughly $3,700, and that's just lens only. Now, if we were to go over to the Z system, there is no ultra-wide currently available, so we'll just stick with the f2.8 and the 14mm f-mount. So a Z 24mm 1.8 is going to run you 1K, and they also have the new 105 macro that just came out. That's going to run you also 1K, and that's a 2.8 f-stop lens. So on the Z system, we're looking at roughly 4K for just lens. I shoot with a Z6 body and lens. I think I paid about $2,500 when I was in Hong Kong, because of course it's cheaper and no taxes. Yay! Now contrast that with the iPhone. You can just drop this in your bag. It's right there ready to go. You need a shot, boom, pick it up, you can go. In most cases, if you want to shoot something real quick, you have to pull your bag out. You have to pull your camera out, turn it on, and then get ready to let the lens do its thing. Now, I think this sometimes is a lot quicker. You can slip out of your pocket, you don't have to unzip anything, pull out, put it around your neck. You know, that's one of the things that really got me thinking, maybe I should really get one of these things and look into utilizing a lot more than I currently do. Because every time I travel, I take my lenses, and sometimes if you have to travel into country when you're overseas, they limit how much weight you can carry in some of those smaller planes. While I love my old iron, a lot of times I can't take her along with me because that just adds extra weight. And then, you know, these days, the airlines are nickel and diming you for everything. So the extra weight is definitely going to take a toll. Yeah, this doesn't go 300mm optical, but again, for what most people are doing and for most of what I shoot, it should be fine. I remember when the iPhone was first released and Steve Jobs stood on the stage and he said, "Today we're introducing a phone, an internet device, and a camera." Phone, internet device, and a camera. We ended up with the iPhone. So here we are several years later, and the iPhone, I won't say single-handedly, but it definitely put a nail in the coffin, or rather helped put the nail in the coffin for most point and shoot. Why buy an extra camera to lug around when you can get extra memory inside your phone to take around with you? And I've loved what they've done over the years with being able to slim down the file size, so you don't have to worry about how much space you can carry around inside this device. You don't have to go to the max device to do most of the things that you're doing. Now, of course, they've introduced a cinematic mode. Now we're talking video side, and that's kind of cool. They showed something which is similar to a rack focus, that you see in Hollywood shots, like, you know, two people standing front to back. You can focus from the front person to the back person and, you know, get it to look really cool. What they've done is they have made this so that you can take the shot, plan it how you want it, and when you're editing it, then you decide what you want to focus on after you've already shot the video. That's cool. I like that. I'm definitely gonna have to test out that function and see how that works. The iPhone 13 Pro Max, the features on it are so darn good. I'm definitely thinking about putting away some of my gear. As a matter of fact, I'm putting some of my gear up for sale because I don't need to lug around 3 or 4 bodies anymore, because I always have my phone in my pocket and I can take some shots when I need to, and I can pick out my lens for my Z6 and, you know, shoot when I want to shoot. Of course, for those times when I really want to get the great shot, I bring my tripod out and make sure I can get some good shots. So for me, I think this device is definitely going to give some mirrorless cameras a run for their money. Not to say that it's better, because certainly the lenses on those cameras are always going to be better. The lens on any DSLR will definitely beat this. Well, not all, but the pricey ones for sure. And if you know how to use your gear, certainly can get some great shots and some great video. But to think you don't have to put a lot of things on it to utilize it, you can just pick it up and go. I think it's a big boon for any content creator and photographer. You can also shoot in ProRes and Dolby Vision. I think was missing on a lot of these phones, especially when you want to use them outside. They've upped the brightness. So now it can be 1,000 nits or up to 1,600 in some moments. And I'm guessing that's when you're watching like Dolby Video or ProRes, or was it, sorry, HDR. Apple has made me more interested in using this darn iPhone 13 Pro Max more than my camera system. I liked it so much after watching the presentation, I ordered the version with a 256 gigabyte of RAM because I plan on taking videos with this camera as well. And I want to make sure I have the space to do all these things and to test that, you know, cinematic feature. Because apparently some of these features you need the extra RAM. They won't work on the lower tier version, or was it 128 gigabyte version. So yeah, I know I will definitely be taking some videos as I'm moving around with the camera. So that's gonna definitely help me out. What do you guys think? How is the iPhone being used in your lifestyle? Are you a photographer? Are you a content creator? Do you find the new features helpful? Is it something you think you're going to be using in the future? Will it make you put down your mirrorless or DSLR and shoot with it more? Put your comments below. I'd love to hear from everyone and what you guys are doing with your gear and what your thoughts are. Do you already have the iPhone? Are you planning on getting one? Let me know. If you liked the video, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There'll be more tech information as well as photography information coming in the future. Take care.